Hello all, this is Rio from Unity Gaming Group, and today we're doing part 2 of the responding review that we started last week sometime, I think it was. So today we're going to go through and we're going to take a look at what to expect and then what you're actually going to be getting. Now, I'm going to be as fair as I can on this. I'm going to offer some suggestions. I'm going to offer some constructive feedback, and I'll probably make fun of a few things here and there because, it's early access. It's an alpha build. And yeah, unfortunately, there are going to be some pretty crazy things happening. So with all further ado, I want to start with something that I think we should all be aware of, and that is that the expectations that were set by the developer in an introduction video, the developer introduction. So let's watch that real quick so you get a better understanding of what it is that I'm actually looking at and what I'm expecting based upon what I've seen, along with the historical social media posts that show the progression of the game, show the gameplay mechanics, show things working correctly, and then we can go from there. So let's get on over here and take a look at this real quick. We're going to go ahead and do this.
21 Adam to Central 98. This is Responding, an open world emergency services simulator that has been in development for several years, with the goal of creating deeper police, fire, and EMS gameplay. I'm Dysens, the developer behind the project, and today I want to show you the world of Responding and talk a bit about where the game is heading with its upcoming Steam release. The inspiration for Responding originally came from my passion for modding games like GTA San Andreas and GTA 4, with mods such as SAPDFR and LCPDFR. Those experiences created some of the most memorable moments playing with friends, but at the same time, those mods were built on top of games that were never designed for emergency services gameplay. That always left me wondering, what could be possible if a game was built specifically for this type of gameplay from the ground up? Over the years, Responding has gone through many iterations and rebuilds as a continued learning as a developer and as new technology made it possible to push the product closer to its original vision. Many systems had to be redesigned multiple times in order to create the level of flexibility needed for the long-term future of the game. One of the most important systems in Responding is the task and awareness system that drives AI behavior. Instead of relying on rigid scripts, characters react dynamically to situations through stimuli and situational awareness. Civilians have personality traits, such as fear, aggression, and criminality, that influence how they respond to events happening around them. This allows callouts and interactions to develop in more dynamic and sometimes unpredictable ways, while still remaining grounded in consistent logic. Vehicles are another major focus of the project. In many emergency services games, driving can feel like simply moving from point A to point B. In Responding, the goal is to make driving feel engaging and weighty, with vehicles that have characters and a sense of mass, while still feeling responsive. This approach has always been heavily inspired by the driving feel and personality of vehicles in GTA 4. The upcoming Steam release represents an important milestone for the project. While Responding already contains many of the core systems that form the foundation of the game, this release also marks the beginning of early access. Early access allows development to accelerate with the help of a larger community, more feedback, and continued iteration on the systems that already exist within the game. Responding is an ambitious project, and while there is still a lot of work ahead, the foundation is now strong enough to begin expanding the road, improving systems, and building towards the long-term vision of a deeply immersive emergency services sandbox. I want to thank everyone who has supported the project so far and helped bring Responding to this point. Your support has made it possible to keep pushing the project forward. And this Steam release is only the beginning of what we hope to build together with the community.
I'm really trying to improve my flexibility this year, so I asked ChatGPT to help me come up with a few stretches I can do every day.
All right. So, as you've heard it from the actual developer, it's a very ambitious project, right? It's very ambitious. In my opinion, it's more than ambitious. It's nearly an impossible game to make on your own. He's a solo developer, and he's trying to put together an emergency sandbox system composed mostly of an AI-based dynamic system where, different features and traits of all these AI mechanics come into play. There's a certain amount of spontaneity, and it's a lot. It's a lot for just about anybody. I like what he's trying to accomplish. I like the message that he's sending. Now, the reality is that he can't do this alone. He can get to a certain point, most likely, but to do this all by himself without the aid of specialists in the development field, in that industry, AI specialists and engine specialists and asset creation, art, audio engineering, all of that stuff is a very big deal. And he just doesn't have that support yet. And I just think that he's bitten off way more than he can chew at this point. That being said, he said that it was a strong foundation in his video. He said that the game was at a point where he felt it was a strong foundation. I'm going to say that that's probably a false statement. Maybe maybe he believes that, but having actually looked at it and played it, I'm not going to agree with that. I really think that this early access should have held off for another 6 months to a year. There are certain core fundamentals that aren't working correctly. And I just think that, wow, I mean, how can you not have certain things in that need to be in? But we're not going to spend a lot of time criticizing that. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do the good, bad, and the ugly on this. And then I'll just give my thoughts on it and my suggestions on it, what I think is appropriate and what I don't think is appropriate. And then we'll go from there, because that's the fairest way to be. One of the things I don't want them to think is that I am bashing the game with the intention of just being malicious. I'm going to point out things that I think need fixed, and I'm going to do it in a way that's fun and entertaining, but at the same time, I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any way, so please don't ban me off of Discord. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started on this. So we're going to go load up responding here real quick. So let me get the monitor up here. All right, so let's go ahead and pop in here. I might have to adjust the levels of sound a little bit because it gets a little bit loud. All right, so very first thing that I noticed is I started going to the settings, because the settings, it's kind of a big deal, right? Now, it's a fundamental thing that needs to be in regardless of anything else that's happening around you. That has to be in. I'm going to bump this down because I can hear gunshots already. Settings. Now, if you come over here, some of these work and some of these don't. Like traffic density, it's set to 0 right now, but you have two settings, 1.0 or nothing. Now, if I put it on nothing, that means there should be no traffic. So we're going to leave it right where it's at, where it started at. All right. We're going to go to controls. You want to definitely, if you've got this game, make sure you look at this. Write this down. I have to look at it all the time while I'm actually playing, because for some reason, the controls feel weird to me. Like, for instance, if you want to use your firearm, say you have to pull out your service weapon, and believe me, you're going to have to a lot. But if you have to pull it out, your primary, it's number 1, right? So then you have to unholster it, which is H, and then you can aim it. Aim down the sight is R. Or no, aim down the sight is your middle mouse button. But first you got to actually draw it and have it aimed at whatever you're going to aim at. Then you have to actually aim down the sight. It's kind of confusing. It's a little clunky the way it's set up. I don't particularly care for it. But, you know, it is what it is. But these all seem to work when they work. Sometimes you'll get unresponsive buttons. You might show up at a call where the shots are being fired and you can't pull out your gun. I've had that happen a few times already. The driving isn't too bad, though, but we'll get into that when we get in here. The audio, these sliders do not work in real time. So, like, right now I have it all about halfway, right? And it doesn't matter how loud I make it or how soft I make it. It does not matter. It'll be... Yeah, it's not going to matter at all. None of this works. If you hit apply, the apply button does nothing because it should say apply and then you hit OK. Instead, it just hit apply and nothing happens. Now, apparently the workaround is to hit play and then you hit proceed, and that supposedly saves the setting. So let's go back here. All right, it's all saved in here. Now, that's not to say that it actually adjusted anything in the game. Now, the graphics I didn't play with. I'm pretty happy with the way they are right now. I don't see any need to touch anything, so I'm not gonna. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go back to play, hit proceed. All right, now, the first thing I notice, and this is like right off the bat. Now, granted, this is an early access title, right? So you know there's gonna be issues. But there are some things that fundamentally you would want to make sure look good. One of which is the select stations screen. That missing texture in the bottom left by the responding logo, that's just, there's something wrong with that. I mean, I'm not trying to be overly critical, but man, put a texture there. Put something there, or block it some way. Or do something, because, yeah, that looks tacky. It doesn't inspire a lot of confidence in the product when the very first thing is you see missing textures. So, yeah, definitely need to fix that. Let's go ahead and hit play. Now, you have role selection here, right? So role selection is going to be police officer, fire, and EMS eventually. So right now, all we have is police officer, which is the core of the game right now. It's the one thing that there should be a lot of focus on because let's be honest, it's one of the most complex. Police officers handle a lot of things, including, depending on the precinct you're in or the county you're in, you can be tasked with being emergency response, firefighter, and law enforcement. I know there was a couple townships up where I used to live where that was the case. You were cross-trained in all three things, and you had to respond to all three types of calls. So, I mean, it makes sense. But, you know, police officer is very complex in that way. So you definitely want to have things like, you know, CPR, and you want to be able to do, like, traffic stops, and you want to be able to get people with radar. You want to be able to do traffic stops, and you know, just a number of other things, welfare checks, investigate, you know, call outs and things like that. There's a lot of things. I mean, there's you know, robberies, petty store, you know, thieves and things like that. Loss prevention calls where you have to go to a grocery store and you have to arrest somebody that's been detained by loss prevention. I mean, there's a lot of potential and a lot of calls, and there's a lot of things that happen in law enforcement that you know, people on TV, they see this stuff on TV and they think, oh man, it's all shootouts and drunk people and people doing stupid stuff, and you know, because that's all they see because it's TV, it's entertainment. But you know, I'm going to go ahead and touch on this point while I'm thinking about it. I don't know where they got the idea that gunplay is an everyday, all the time occurrence, and in this game, for some reason, it is. It's way more common than it should be. I've known people on the force, even when I was a reservist, that had never fired their service weapon in 20 years. Then I know some that, you know, fired it the first year they were in. So it's not as common as you think. So I just think that people look at the United States and they think, oh wow, it's the Wild West. We're just going to shoot everything up. You know, and that's not the case. You know, I'm sure in certain, you know, Texas or Florida maybe, but who knows, you know. If you're going to let everybody tote guns around, you're probably going to get a lot more gun calls. So, but anyways, let's go ahead and get this thing started with the police tour. So, starting our tour. So here we are. I am Rio, and I am Officer Rio. I'm standing in the precinct. Now, the precinct is relatively bare still, but it's starting to be fleshed out. I'm not sure why you would start right here, but I guess it's just as good as anywhere else. I would have thought you would have started in a briefing room, you know, and then you would have been assigned traffic or narcotics or whatever. But yeah, that didn't happen. Now this is the front of the building, and that's where Sarge is. Everybody say hi to Sarge. Sarge was not there for the... Oh, what happened to Sarge? Where you go? Sarge, what are you doing? What's going on? What are you doing, Sarge? Okay. Well, he's got a gun out, so I'm going to pull mine out because now I'm paranoid. Except one's not working. One. Holster. One. Alright, he put his hand on it. There we go. Alright. Now, apparently there's something going on because Sarge just busted balls outside of the precinct and ran this way. So we're going to see what's going on here. Oh, look. Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to... Oh!
Can I get an ICAD number? 20489.
Maybe I can pop a tire?
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Well, Sarge didn't get him. Alright, so let's go see if Sarge is back. Sorry, but I just don't think it's appropriate to have a felony gunfire thing happening right outside the front doors of the police station. I mean, I've heard of world's dumbest criminals, but that's beyond dumb. Yeah, let's get in a firefight with the police in front of the police station. So Sarge has somehow magically made it back to the desk. Good job, Sarge. Alright, you stay there from now on. You can't abandon your post. That's what you have patrol officers for. Alright. So anyways, getting back to it. I can't believe that just happened. So getting back to it. We could walk around the station. There's an upper floor. It's got a narcotics division and it's got a homicide division in it. A lot of empty rooms, you know, blank like this. So obviously there's a lot more fleshing out to do for the police station. Now, my original thought on this is pretty simple, actually. If you're going to start here, if this is going to be the foundational area where you get the first taste of the game, this needs a lot more work. It needs to look like a hustling, bustling police station. This just, it looks too bare. It looks like it's a brand new station with barely anything in it. So definitely need to work on this. Oh, that's what I want to point this out too. So we come over here. Oh my God, it just sprints. All right. So you see this right here? I go into first person. This is the DAS mobile, right? This is what's in your car as well. You can interact with this, right? So it's really hard to see, especially if you've got bad vision like I do. But you can actually look people up. You can look at records. Like, say I want to find some guy named Martinez.
Roger, this is customer block A. You get a script, anything?
Yeah.
Be advised they're still on the line with 911. Stays male
That
clothes
didn't
jumped
come up.
behind
Let's
the
try
defense,
George.
money,
Maybe
had
George
a
will
glass
come up.
bottle in his hand. No description at this time. It's going to be
There's a
at
George.
5-Star Mart.
So you can pull up this stuff here, and you can actually look at it. And you can actually look this stuff up. Now, my biggest thing, for me at least, is that I want to be able to zoom in on this and see the screen fully. So maybe an adjustment of the camera would be good, so that you can actually see a full, frontal screen rather than sitting back from it and trying to glare at it. Because I mean, if I was to do, like, if I was to type up incidents or something, or put something in here, I would have a hard time with that because I can't really read the smallest stuff. So that's just a thought there, a suggestion. Would be a different way to interact with that, or maybe instead of having it on the desk, put it on a wall. Like, just have a screen on the wall in like a pull-out keyboard or something that hangs from the wall, like the hospitals have, where you can use it from there. Like, I could go to here and look right at it and then not have to worry about getting behind or in front of a chair and wedging my way in here like this because I can't get in there anyways. And by the way, you can't pick up chairs. So yeah, I don't know why that's there. I wish you could at least roll it or move it somehow. Get it out of the way so I could get in front of this screen better. But that's just another small thing. But we got Sarge here, so I'm happy Sarge is here. Just for history, Sarge was not here for a long time a couple patches ago. He just went on a permanent vacation, but he's back now, and you can actually talk to him. Like, you can get the holding cell keys from him. Yeah, doing great. How are you? I'm doing good. Okay, so you just say something nice to Sarge because Sarge isn't always there, and obviously he's like he's not just the desk guy; he's the everything guy. So. All right, we got this. We're going to come out to the car now. I'll show you the customization on the car. Let's close that. Now, you got the sedans here, which is cool.
115 condition, Sergeant.
I do like the sedans.
Westbound on 41 Ave towards National.
Let's go. Oh, God. Oh, God. All right, so what happened was I went in first-person view, and I got in the car. And that's where I ended up. I'm sticking through the ceiling. Can I get out? Maybe? Oh. Oh, now I'm in the floor. Now I'm under it. Wow. I can't jump up. I'm stuck in the dang floor. Oh, yeah. I can make it. I'm swimming. What the crap, man. Oh, my God. Okay, so I'm stuck permanently. Can't move. Can't get out. Can't kill myself. Can't respawn. And now I'm just screwed. And there's a car stuck in the wall. All right, so reload. Oh, so let's try this again. Good Lord. I didn't even get to the good part. All right, let me see here. All right, so we're getting back in. Play. Precinct texture. Can't help but notice it. Bright purple. All right, let's see. Start tour. Yay, we're back. And there's no car in the ceiling now. All right. That was interesting. Oh, gunshots right outside the police station again. All right, so we're gonna come over to here. What are you parked there for? Get out of that, Mark. Guess it doesn't matter. All right, so we're gonna get into the car this time without using first person. Now, what is the zoom in button? Is it this one? No, that's good. Right, so let's make sure we get in third person because that's you don't want the other thing happening again. All right, so here's my first problem with this. Now, if you look around the car, it looks okay, right? Except that the needle doesn't work on the speedometer and whatnot. But the middle logo in the center of the steering wheel is a Chevy logo. There's no mistaking it's a Chevy logo. It's not even semi-hid. I mean, obviously, the asset creator didn't think to change this when he actually put this in here. Because, yeah, if you look at the outside of the car, the logo is different. But inside, that's a Chevy logo. So, yeah, that could be a lawsuit just waiting to happen. All right, now we have the DAS inside the car, which is a lot better to interact with, by the way. Not what I wanted. I wanted to interact. Why are you getting out? I'm not hitting E. Yeah, there we go. E. Ah, there it goes. Finally. All right, so The dash is actually pretty cool. The only thing I don't like is that it doesn't exactly center with the screen, which makes it hard to see the stuff down below. You should see the whole screen, right? Or you should be able to at least move your camera around so you can kind of adjust it a little bit so it's not so hard to see everything. But what I like about this is, like I said, I can go here and I can go Fred. Right? There's no Freds, which is weird. How about Jim? James. There we go. We got a James Hernandez. Let's go to him. Pull him up. All right. And like you can look at all his stuff here. He's been resisted arrest. He's got a suicide history. He's got
Give me the 10-11 on
what
3.
is that? A seal, something or other used. CW. I don't know what a CW is, but uncharged history, yes. Assault on patrol officer, yep. He hasn't escaped yet. I guess that's next on the list. But again, I can't see anything down below there. I can't even see if I've got the whole thing. I think I do. Shooting and homicide history, yes. Narcotics history, yes. This guy's a nightmare. You can create a summons, and you can put in all of this stuff here, and then you can print it out, which is really cool. I love that.
110 John, 110 John.
And I'll show you if it'll let me out of this. Sign out. See? You can actually print it out, which is cool, and you can grab this and you can go do a summons on him if you wanted to. So we're going to turn on the lights on the car. Maybe. I guess there's only high beams. Alright, let's go to and you can see right here, there's, you got your general stuff. I think J it is your lights. So this is code 3. This is you're doing a traffic stop. You got G for sirens, which isn't bad. And apparently if you double tap shift, you can actually do traffic stops, although I've heard double tap shift or hold shift and you can do traffic stops. Let's turn those off for now. I'll show you the customization since that's what I was originally coming out here to do. Alright, if you hold E, and you gotta hold it a while, that'll pop up. And then you can change what you want for your car. Like say, I don't like the push bumper, I want the Defender, because the Defender's cool. I can put pulse lights on here. And again, you can see here where they changed the logo a little bit so it's not quite a Chevy on here, but it is on the main steering wheel, which is not a good look for Dyson's. He's not going to like that when he sees it. Windshield, you can change it. You can put blinky things on here, blinky lights. All right, so now I got 2 on there. The only problem I don't like is that in order to change the camera angle while you're in that customization, you actually have to exit out of the whole thing and restart it. Now, I'm not particularly a fan of these old New York lights. I like the Liberty lights. So I'm going to use those, that antenna. And again, like I said, you can't just, well, maybe you can. If you hold left button, you can do that. All right, so we're going to put a spotlight here. And we're going to put a spotlight here if it lets me. Yeah, because that's usually how you have a partner and you usually ride around together and you both are spotting everything. All right, we're going to get out of here. We're going to go to roof. Oh, I already did that. Rear deck. I don't know what these actually look like, and I can't rotate them while I'm choosing them, so. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. The problem with this is it just doesn't look good. It's not bright. It's not, it's, you know, when you've got someone hitting their light bar at you, I mean, it should be bright and just obnoxiously flashy. I mean, if you ever get pulled over, if you ever seen anybody getting pulled over, especially here in Florida, it's all blue and whites, and it is blinding bright. So we're going to change that to this because it looks better. Just because it looks better. I still don't... I like the red and blues. I don't like this standard red and white, but I guess it could be worse. And my front flashers aren't working now, which is weird. I know I put them on there, and I put them on it just right. Alright, so let's see if it saves it this time. There we go, that's better. That looks pretty good, I think. It's weird how these spotlights are pointed right at the sides of the car, though, instead of the front. No, that's a little weird, but okay. We can deal with that. So, now we're going to start the car. Now, to start the car, it's T. I don't know why it's set to T. That's weird. I would have thought that you would have just, you know, if you hit W, you're going to start the car and move forward. And if you stop the car, you stop the car, and you know, and it should stay running unless you shut it off. So, I mean, I would say that, you know, turn off the car, you know, stop the engine, you know, maybe that would be okay, but to have to hit T to start, I don't know, it just feels weird. I mean, if you ever play GTA, you jump in the car and all you got to do is just wait for it to finish, you know, hot wiring it, and then off you go. So, I don't know, maybe you could do something like that here. Just seems like it's a little much. Alright, so we're going to hit T. Car started. Now the first thing I'm going to show you is the inside of the car, the speedometer. Sure, there's one there, but there's no needle. And really, I like the interior. I think it looks nice. The only thing I'm not real crazy about is that Chevy logo, and I don't like the fact that there's an old analog speedometer in this thing. It needs to be a digital readout, at least at the bottom of the dial, so that you can see exactly how fast you're going when you're in this view. And there also needs to be a digital readout somewhere on the screen when you're in third person. I'm not a big fan of first-person driving. I don't like it in GTA. I don't like it here. I don't like it in NASCAR. I don't like it anywhere. That's a big problem. You got to have that. I still think if you had the status bar like you do on the dash cams on most modern police officers' cars, you've got your mic, your brake, your sirens, and then you've got you could put your speedometer on there, and whatever else information you think is pertinent. I think if you did something like that along the bottom or at the top or somewhere on the screen, that would help. I just think it's missing that. I don't like that there's no automatic license plate reader. I think that is kind of important because you can't really be driving down the road trying to punch in a license plate while you're driving down the road. I mean, you would have to basically wait for this person to stop, punch it in real fast, get back to it, and hope that they haven't gotten too far ahead that you've lost them. So an APLR is probably a good idea. It is a game, and at some point you're going to have to remember that because gameplay mechanics aren't exactly real life, and there's no way. I mean, because think about it. If I was on a patrol right now as a reservist, like say I get out there on the road and I'm patrolling, and I get behind this cab that's just randomly parked in the middle of an intersection like it is, and I'm not going to like punch it into the computer. I'm going to call it in and dispatch, radio it in if the car is moving. Obviously, if it's sitting still, I'm just going to punch it in the computer. But if it's not sitting still, I'm going to call it in on the radio, get my information, and then go from there. I'm not going to frickin' try to punch all that in while I'm driving down the road. That's the equivalent of reading text or texting while driving, you know, it's just not going to work. So, but yeah. Anyways, those are just some general ideas. Now, that being said, there's been a lot of complaints about gridlocking in traffic. But if you've noticed, nothing has moved. Nothing. Nothing. Gridlock. Nobody can go anywhere because jackass cab driver here has decided this is the perfect spot to stop because he's now off duty and he wants to drink his soda and eat his sandwich. And he's still in the car. However, if you talk to him, if you'll let me talk to him, hey you can ask him to move the vehicle. It's weird that the middle mouse button's being used for this too. I would have thought like hit space or E or even enter, but the middle mouse button. Alright, and then you just tell him just move it over. Alright, and sometimes he will and sometimes he won't. But we gotta watch out for that because now that we've got traffic moving again, oh look, he stopped 3 foot away. 3 foot away! Now here's the thing, is this is what I think is happening anyways. I think he thinks he's parking somewhere legitimate. So he's going up and he's like, we tell him to move it over, he's like, okay, I'll move it out of the way. But what he's not doing is he's not actually finding a parking spot, he's just thinking that the middle of the road is the parking spot. Which I think is an AI issue or possibly, you know, something along those lines. But, yeah. So there's that. Anyway, let's get back in our car. We're just going to do some random driving around and patrols for now because, yeah, I'm not really wanting to do anything too crazy. I can't see how fast I'm going. I wonder if I can actually perform a traffic stop. He hit this car, but... Alright, so... Can I zoom in? I can't really zoom in real well. Can't really read that. So that's KAXA4226. Make sure you send it again. KXA4226.
115, post 1.
Oh, and then he took off. So this is shift. Double tapping shift does nothing. Do I have to be in first person maybe? Oh, finally. Wow, the response time sucked. Alright, we're going to get out the car. KAXA4226. Alright, let's go ahead and just punch that in real quick. Please don't do anything crazy. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and...
Confines of the 100 precincts, driving 712 Toyota RAV4, blue. Plate number is Adam John Boy 6104, possibly heading to Sheepshead Bay to take...
There it is right here.
At train to Manhattan. What?
Alright, so what do we got here? We got
5 plus 1 on the air. On the air.
owner is Thomas Taylor. It's a boss in Victoria, red. Insured. No, it's not insured.
115 plus 1.
No road inspection.
115 post 1?
Oh, it has an inspection, so what's
Yeah,
road no mean?
Bus response at 7933.
No idea. Alright, so anyways. We're gonna get out. What the hell? What the hell?
39 is going to be a 91. I think I'm running top. Right. That's right.
I want to let you have priority. 115 Frank.
There's department numbers, please.
I mean 357799.
All right, so he just got out of the car. Just a traffic stop, man. You don't even know what I was here for.
37 Avenue. Be advised, this is a landlord-tenant dispute.
Yeah, 4.
Oh, great. I'm stuck. I'm stuck.
One time receiving a 1010 Narco, 973642 Avenue, 973642
And I'm stuck
Avenue
in this
the
view.
lobby, 97 Place
I'm stuck.
9th Street.
Completely stuck in this view.
Conditions, Sergeant.
Okay. Nice arm.
91, I'll take that shot.
10-4, 21237, 21237.
Can't pick it up because I can't target it, and I can't target it because maybe if I could like limp over
42 Avenue,
the
973642 Avenue.
get in,
Reno
reset my
lobby,
camera
97
angle maybe.
Place to 99th Street. The code states someone
if I can
smoking marijuana in the building. Broke a lock
Come on,
to
baby, you
the
can do
second
it.
door to entry in
Get
the
in the
building.
car. Get in the car.
115 Adam.
Damn it!
10-5.
115 Adam.
I'm here.
They're still out at.
All right, so stuck in this view. Can't get in the car. Can't reset the view.
Oh, light.
10-4.
David.
All right, so this goes into another issue.
Yeah,
Reset your camera view. That's a core fundamental. If we can't reset the camera view, how in the hell are we going to play this game? Again, another big problem. So the only way to fix it right now is to do this
2027,
again.
2027.
Good Lord. Yeah, photosensitivity warning, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, All right, gonna come over here. Oh, that's frustrating as hell. All right. Start tour. Hi, I'm back. Officer Rio, trying again.
I need multiple units.
So yeah.
It's about 1 second.
Oh my God. And my car is no longer here, so I have to. I'm just gonna grab it the front. I just don't care anymore. All right, come on. I'm just gonna push around. All right, what is this guy doing? I want to see. Are you sitting at a red light, or are you just not? Oh yeah, we're sitting. Look, it's a gas station and there's a door. Yo, Tommy, you here? Oh, that's not good.
115.
To all available units, there are reports of shots fired.
Gunshots already.
10-4, bro. Position 4351.
93 Queen.
Where'd it come from?
Can I get an ICAD number?
It'd be nice if there was an indicator of what direction those shots came from. Just saying.
Okay.
Because, yeah, gunshots are loud and they could be anywhere in the next 2 or 3 blocks. They sound like they're relatively close, though.
In the confines of the 115, receiving 52 of a dispute.
But I don't see
37
anything,
Avenue,
so I'm just going to go
7th
ahead
Street,
and
37 Avenue, 7th
come in here and
Street.
check on Tommy. Yo, Tommy, I'm here for a sub, man. You're out of locos, too.
10-5 unit.
Hey, where's all the stuff? Did somebody rob you? Still got sunglasses. Grab a pack of
115
smokes.
post 6.
Maybe take out the
10-4,
cash
55.
register, steal all the money. Might as well, right? Nobody here. Alright, so let's holster it, put it away.
110 Adam. 1049.
Any units available to
Get in
respond to a
here.
noise complaint?
Alright, so Tommy's not here.
Borrow condition, Sergeant.
I do like that you can get in here, though, in case the guy's getting robbed or whatnot. I think the gas stations need to be a little bit bigger, or at least further back. Like, get rid of that back alley and just make it a small, like, you know, maybe a two-man alley where you can just barely get through it. That way,
Be advised the complaint is coming
you've
up.
got more shelves, you've got more stuff in there. You know, because right now it's kind of blah.
Time condition, Sergeant.
But yeah,
You are
that's pretty
scheduled
cool. At
report
least
for
you can get in
domestic
there.
disturbance. Any units
110
available?
condition, Sergeant.
Hello?
75 Ida, 111,
Let me in my car. Is there a reason? Oh, it's because you still have your stupid hand on your stupid belt.
110 John, 110 John.
Alright. Why do you keep turning off my lights for me? I didn't ask you to. Alright. Let's see here. Okay, we have a major traffic jam up here. Let's see what's going on. This is interesting. I wonder what's going on up here. Is there some reason why you're not... Are you not able to... Okay. Let's see what this guy's doing.
Wearing blue jeans, black jacket.
Tap out the address.
Alright, this is a Japanese lady.
15 104
Oh!
4015
Okay,
104
now you're a guy that's too
41st
tall for the
Avenue to
truck.
41st Avenue,
Your head
5
sticking out the top of it.
Yeah, American, this is Sergeant. I'm 84.
Yo,
Be
Yo.
advised, Prep,
move your frickin' vehicle.
Criminal men
Just
at
move
this
it
time.
over, buddy.
directional plate.
And what are you doing? Come on. I wish I could direct traffic, but there's no option to. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me see here.
2000 hours.
Yo.
100 hours.
Ho! Man. Alright, move vehicle.
90 to 30 Central, ma'am. General, please.
Alright, none of you are what the...
They got 45-year-old male
Oh my
Hispanic,
God.
5'6".
Okay, at least you guys are starting to
Black
move.
jacket,
Although
blue
idiot up
jeans.
there just ran his minivan into something. Alright, well,
10-4.
I tried to be nice. I did. I was like, okay, man, just move your stuff. But he's being an idiot. I wonder if I can squeeze in there. Yeah, you better hurry up. Get out of the way. Keep going. Clogging up traffic, doing stupid shit. Now what are you doing? Good Lord. Well, at least I managed to unblock that traffic jam, sorta. That's not saying much, but okay. Alright. Yeah, okay, you can go. Okay. Now we can't cruise control, I don't think. I will say that the responses in the steering, not too bad. I like that the brake lights actually light up. I don't like that when you use the handbrake that the lights don't light up though. And the only reason I say that is say you want to stop the right way, because the problem is that when you hold back on S, right, you get the brake lights and then you get reverse lights. I mean, you go from forward to suddenly you're going back. So there's no actual stopping first and then going into reverse. You should have to double tap reverse in order to go in reverse, and then double tap to go back into drive. And I kind of feel like it's just a little wonky that way. I think maybe having the ability to go drive in reverse would be a better idea than doing the traditional let's just hold S until you stop and then you'll eventually start backing up if you're not careful. Just another picky thing that I see. Alright, so what do we got going on over here? We got a lot of traffic for a 0 traffic scale on the slider, by the way. Alright, so here we are. We're outside of town. Pretty sure New York doesn't just drop off like this, but hey, what do I know? Woo. Alright, so you saw that. I know everybody just saw that. So there's another thing to point out. LODs are a big deal. I think in this particular situation, we're not getting good rendering because the LODs aren't right. So yeah, see how you're going from a rocky mess to suddenly, hey, it's just a sheer drop. So yeah, something's not right there either. But I think that's mostly cosmetic, and it's early access, so we can forgive stuff like that. Now the question is, hopefully I don't drop through the map again like I did earlier. The question is can we traverse all of these streets without potentially falling through the map? Alright, so here's a bridge that goes up to somewhere. Ooh, brake check. Yep, once again. Oh crap. Don't go down there. And yeah, big chunky hole. Oh, look. There we go. No texture. Remember that bottom corner of the map? Bottom left? Welcome to Purple Land. And now it's gone. Yes, that's like the interstate right there where you're supposed to be able to get onto the interstate. Unfortunately, it's become a parking lot somehow instead of the highway ramp it's supposed to be. And there's cars in the way. I wonder if I can move those cars. I think I can. I just want to see if it's actually traversable at all. Oh yeah. Feel like taking a swim? There you go. Oh, this is cool. Welcome to the underbelly of New York. All right, so here we go. Probably going to be a dead end up here in a second. Oh yeah, let's not do that. Yeah, that's LODs again. That's exactly what that is. Because the texture's there, it's just not visible unless you're sitting right on top of it. Oh, crapola! Ow! Oh, look.
Well, you can take the dispute 35779 Street.
Oh, that's a problem.
Of course, Central.
All right. So a mesh stripe for the road
115 post 1 and 3.
is 2 foot above the road. Look, I can fly.
Complaining, right?
10 4. 5 impact order on the air.
And now my car is broken. Can I push it over?
15 impact on you on the air? Impact
Uh,
on 2?
Oh,
Right, post 1 sound working.
Control 84
I
on my post.
believe I can fly.
110 hold it. 115 post 10.
Okay. I just wanted to look around down here since you can get in here.
I don't have anything there, Kate. I have 37
the end of the road. Obviously early access, and this is not done yet because the freeway system would be great. I wonder if I can... Oh! Alright, so I'm not going to give him any shit for this because obviously, you know, I got down here and I probably wasn't supposed to. I mean, granted, you know, it's unfinished, so he gets a pass on this, but yeah. Still got some work to do. But it does mean I'm going to have to reset again because I can't just kill myself and respawn, much as I'd like to. Let's go out in the woods, let's find some homeless camps, rile up some drug dealers doing meth out here. That'd be kind of fun, though. We'll call out to do a bust a meth lab out in the woods. Go to Joe Bobville and bust a whole bunch of hillbillies that are... Whoa! I just went right under the terrain. Yeah, okay. Yep, it's about time to, yeah. About time to reset. Let's see if I can climb this. Can I climb this? No. Whee! Oh, I'm dead. Oh. I do find the ragdolls kind of funny. Oh, am I dead? I think I'm dead. He's not getting up. Oh, there he goes. Alright. Alright, so there's that. Right. Quit. Restart it again. Do. Yes, photosensitivity warning. Yes, if you've got problems with that stuff, I would not recommend this. The flashy lights alone will get you. Be glad there's no wigwags in the cars, because even though they should be. I'm pretty sure New York Police Department cars have wigwags. Okay. Alright, start tour.
It's been about 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Escorting in regards to the missing, or that's a different job?
I'm escorting
It's not
with
actually
regards to
snowing. Is it snowing? Is this snow?
All units be advised.
I don't have any footprints, but it looks like snow.
I need multiple units. Any units available?
Yeah, there's snow on the car, too. Yep, that's snow. Well, that's kind of cool. Although it's not really doing a whole lot of snowing these days. Now, does it matter if it's snowing? Doesn't leave tracks. That'd be a nice addition, you know. Tracks in the snow. I do kind of like that, though. That's kind of cool. Oh, look at you. Oh, you hit me.
Officers require assistance on a traffic stop. Any units in the area?
Don't you run. What are you doing? What do we got here? NGR 6487.
To all available units, there are reports of shots fired.
Of a dispute, 37 Avenue, 77th Street, 37 Avenue, 77th Street to 78th Street.
David Martinez.
Stand by the unit.
No insurance. Not stolen.
Adam.
You.
115 post 6.
Profile.
10 4
Suicide history. Gun charge history. Okay. We have some idea as to what we're getting into then.
110 Adam. 10 4 1956.
Hello, Mr. Martinez. This is the New York finest, and I'm here to give you a ticket for hitting
Fire
me.
condition, Sergeant.
Can you give me the 1011?
Ask for violation reason.
10-4.
Reckless driving.
Condition, Sergeant.
Pro 6,
And it does say David Martinez.
be advised the complaint is coming outside.
Officers require assistance on a traffic stop. Any units in the
Why am I
area?
crouched over like that?
110 condition, Sergeant.
75 Ida 111 1011.
4. Sponsor 30 of a commercial, 4015
what we do here
104
to do
Street,
this.
4015 104 Street,
So we're gonna create a
5-star Mart,
summons.
41st Avenue to 41st Avenue. Do I have a unit spec?
We can add this stuff in here, so let's just go ahead and do it. NGR 6487.
Fire condition, Sergeant. That's block A. Get a script, anything?
Be advised there's on the line with 911. Says male clerk jumped behind register and stole money, had a glass bottle in his hand, on no description at this time. It's going to be at 5-star Mart.
5-10. Hold up, 84.
Violation.
The number central.
4015 104 Street, 4015 104 Street, inside of 5-star Mart, 41st Avenue to 41st Avenue on the cross.
Alright, I'm gonna print out the thing. Now we're gonna be careful of not being first person when I get out of
4015 104 Street, 4015 104
Alright, David.
Street, 41st Avenue to 41st Avenue, 5-star Mart.
Yeah, fire condition, Sergeant. That's 84. Be advised, the criminal miss at this time.
How come I can't give him the thing?
Units arrive alive, advising.
I want to give him this thing. Why am I still crouching?
Time condition, Sergeant. 84.
2000 hours, 2000 hours.
You're not giving me a way to give him the thing.
They got 45-year-old male Hispanic, 5'6", black jacket, blue jeans.
I do like that you can zoom in on the license and read it. It's a little hard to read, but that's just because it's just the state of the game. Why is he looking down?
115 DBO, take your CAD, 21062, 21062.
Oh, now he's letting me handle the ticket.
Stand by, on 110 I have a 39 for dental service, 8655 Queens Boulevard,
It says safely leave, not run me over. Oh my God! Now you're hitting this guy's nice car.
39 dental service,
Looks like
8655
Chrysler.
Queens Boulevard.
And why are my headlights off again?
Fire condition, Sergeant.
Jesus. All right. Press the function key to enter the vehicle by holding it open and closed. Open and closed. So, yeah, there are some big issues. Okay. What's up with that? Okay. Oh, look. What do you guys
It
got
is
going
not
on
worth
here?
it.
Oh, shoot.
I will shoot you if you aim that gun. It is not worth it.
Sergeant 2.
Aim that gun.
Suspect down.
62320. You got marked post 1.
Detaining,
missing
cover me.
91, missing return.
All right, so where are you at? Are you detaining him or am I?
And Sergeant. And Sergeant. The complaint for this
One in
job-
custody.
Put your fucking hands up.
Yeah, where you at?
Put your hands where I can see them.
Sorry for this, Sergeant.
Can't pick him up.
Put your hands up.
Can't put his hands up. I can't pick him up.
Oh, that was the sergeant that has the no stop, right?
Maybe if I. Oh, great. All right, it's not letting me pick him up.
Put your fucking hands up.
In a 110 attempt of service from George's Diner, 865.
All right, so where's my other guy at here? Are you dead? Where's the other officer?
115 post 1.
Oh!
115 post 1.
See post 1, go ahead, Kay.
Why is my car moving without me in it? Oh!
Well, no, negative 37 Ave and 77th Street.
Oh!
The cab driver touched him up right with this.
What the hell?
Bro.
Hey,
Put your hands up.
10-4.
Hands up now.
what the
Each
hell?
other off. You need somebody to back you?
5 post 3, show us on the back.
Right, 10-4. To 110, Dave, are you raising?
10-4, so we're going to need some very going over there.
You're going 10-4. You're going 9 days from the missing. You're picking up 939,
All right,
right?
so where's the guy at? Is he still there? Is he dead? Is he flattened? Oh, I see. This is a disaster.
It's a death of service from George's Diner, 8655 Queens Boulevard. Mel White, wearing a black jacket.
37 Avenue Central.
Oh, look, there's the gun.
39, the death of service for
Free Glock.
They're having a verbal
I'll take
dispute,
it.
female refusing to pay.
Why am I?
Post 1 and 3 have
Why am I
any
holding it?
respondents?
Give me the address, please.
That's why
I don't wanna keep it.
7th Street, K.
Show me 84.
Here, have a Glock.
Fired. Got fired.
115, Sergeant.
Okay,
115, Sergeant.
mustache.
Impact Sergeant.
Thanks, Sergeant. This call for
No
help
mustache.
came 45 minutes ago. 3239
Mustache?
Seminole Street. I checked the call back. It was a
No
accident.
mustache.
190 yellow.
I can't put it away. I can't drop it.
115, we're holding 3 jobs. The call for help. Spanish, unknown if they need help or not.
I can do nothing with this.
A dispute.
How do I get rid of the gun?
With the death of service. And dispute on 357799 Street, holding 3 jobs in a 39. I mean 115, sorry. 15 Charlie.
How do I get rid of the gun?
Show me picking up that job.
Okay,
All right, the job
let's see what the controls say.
help 312190 Street. Just do me a favor, send 5 in for your final for the last job.
Queen RMA.
Drop item B. Okay.
115 Impact Sergeant.
Guess we're leaving that evidence there because obviously I can do nothing with it. And now that my car is totaled, I have no car.
Impact Sergeant 2 Raven.
So I have 2 choices here. Either I steal dead officer's car, which I'm gonna,
1 and 2.
or not. Yeah, there's gonna be no stealing this. It's stuck. Get out the car.
3577.
I'll steal a civilian's car. 'Cause what else am I gonna do, right? Whoa! I'd say that's a little screwed up. Okay. Whoa! Okay. Come on. Yikes! Oh! Oh look. What's this? An alley. Okay. I need to find a police precinct. Can I look it up in the map? Is there a map? Oh, I didn't even know this existed. Dispatch.
21 Adam to Central. 98.
21. All units return back to service.
Interesting. The fact that they're still using 10 codes. A lot of police departments these days aren't even using them. Here. That looks interesting. Alright, I don't know how to get back to the station and I don't see a map function. Let's find a place to put it. Pop that. Okay, settings. Controls. Menu navigation, select middle mouse button. Menu navigation up, wheel up. That'd be interesting. Get out the way! Need to find a cop shop. I don't like that I can't find a map. And if you lose your car, you're screwed. I don't like that. I think that's going to be a problem. I mean, at the end of the day, if my car gets rolled over and I can't flip it back over or recover it or respawn it in some way, and I can't resume my patrols, and if I can't resume my patrols, then I can't do my job and I can't play the game. So that's a problem. That needs to be fixed. That's our fire department, I think. With no fire trucks in it. Damn it. I was going to hijack one of those. That would have been fun. Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. I think the game looks fantastic. I like some of the sound bites. I do think that they need to use better compression on the sound. There is some noise, like when you're listening at the menus. You need to have those sliders adjusted better. A lot better, because, yeah, it's extremely loud, especially if I wear my headset. Very loud. Very, very loud. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I think based upon the last couple of hours that I've been playing, this recording is like after playing for several hours. I did a live stream with a buddy, and some of the things we saw that were wrong, and they don't always happen exactly how you would expect them to, but they happen. Like, why has he got his hand on his frickin' weapon? Stop that. And poor civilian's gonna be freaked out. Get your hand off the gun. Alright, well, anyways. You know, there was a lot of weird stuff. Like, I fell through the map once. One time I was just sitting here minding my own business in the patrol car in the parking lot of the precinct when an invisible car smashed into the patrol unit, sent it spiraling to the, you know, just into the atmosphere, man, just into space. It was wow. I mean, wow. But there are things that aren't there that need to be there. For one, the pullovers are very soft and don't work quite right. So, I mean, yeah, double tap and shift, no, doesn't work. I had to hold it down obsessively in, I think for both the traffic stops that I actually got to work, I had to be in first person view. I couldn't do it in third person. I didn't like that I couldn't question the person. I didn't like that I couldn't, that the interaction after I grabbed the ticket, after I printed it out for the summons and all that and gave him the reckless driving ticket, I couldn't give it to him several times. I had to keep going back into the menu and keep trying again. I don't like that there's no documentation at all on how to play. Your best bet is to take a cheat sheet and print it out and set it next to your computer, because the control structure doesn't quite make sense. And there's no real guidance, I guess, as to how to actually unholster a weapon and how to aim the weapon and how to fine aim the weapon, and how to put it back. And the flashlight doesn't work, and just some of the smaller things that are really annoying. If you watch the beginning of this video, he says that he's trying something ambitious, and he's trying to build from the ground up an emergency service system, and he's trying to use a lot of the AI mechanics and dynamics that you don't see in modern gaming. It's still a relatively fresh and, I guess, unexplored area of the industry when it comes to gaming. So, I mean, not a lot of games have like that much AI in them. Like traffic stops are usually scripted. Traffic flow is usually scripted. And so I like what he's trying, and I think it has potential. But for the price point on Exala, I don't think it was worth the money. I almost feel bad for anybody that actually did buy into it, because there's a lot wrong with this still. I mean, I get that you probably, let's be honest. Some people did it because they wanted to support the project, because they were hopeful that they were going to see this amazing game come out, and they wanted to be a part of that process. I get that. I've had people do that to me. I've been in projects where people jump on board and they're all, we just want to know how we can donate and support you, and we're here to test and we're here to have fun, and we can't wait to see what you guys do. And yeah, I get that. But there was also the other people that were like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and pay for this because, boy, I saw those videos in the social media and all this great stuff that made it look like this game was ready to go. I mean, you were getting in gunfights, and you were doing traffic stops, and you were doing this and that and the other, and it looked perfect. But it's not. It's just not. And I feel like it's been falsely represented. Yeah, I mean, I really do. I mean, I really think that what you showed and what you actually have are two different things. That's not to say that it can't be those things. It's just not there yet. I was talking in Discord the other day for responding, and there was a guy that said, I really don't feel that this game is ready for early access, and he's been fairly critical but also fair. I mean, he's been kind of a supporter. I think Mr. Blue Panda or something was his name, and I had to agree with him. I'm like, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's not ready for early access, but yet it's going to come out. Now, one of the big things with early access that's got me a little worried is the last 3 or so days, once they announced that they were starting to release keys to the Ultimate Collectors, and then they were going to do Deluxe and Standard, and then they were going to open it up for Steam, which I think is supposed to happen tomorrow. That whole last 3 days, they've been promoting getting it off of Exala, because Exala's got cheaper prices and it will be cheaper all around if you get it before you go to Steam. Now, the problem with that is that's not necessarily true. All right, so if you're in the United States, Exala isn't exactly cheaper. All right, as a matter of fact, because it's based upon a European payment processing, platform, you're going to have to pay those extra fees for the conversion, the money conversion, right? So you're going to end up paying more than you would potentially from buying it off of Steam when it hits, the U.S. market. That being said, they did tell everybody, hey, it's going to be cheaper if you get it on Xala, and it was $29.99 USDs for the standard edition. Okay? So here's the thing. Steam has a 30% cut of every sale. They take 30% right off the top. That averages out to about $9. All right? So if it's a $29.99 and they take $9, that would make it $20, right? No, because that's not how the developer's going to look at it. Developers being like, I'm going to get hit for 30%. I'm going to raise the price $9, so at least I get my baseline price of $29.99, which would make sense, except for one small problem with that. Now they're going to factor in regional pricing. That Steam has an algorithm for regional pricing, but it's not like a 100% this is the way it is type pricing system. All right. So even if Steam recommends, hey, in this area, it's, the cost of living's higher, everything's, it's more expensive to live here, so make it cheaper. That doesn't mean the developer has to do that. The developer can make up their own pricing, and that's just all there is to it. Now, if they said already that it's going to be more expensive once it hits Steam, and that's at $29.99 plus the $9, so that puts it up to what? 38 something, right? So actually probably 39 because of the change. All right, and then you have to add in the regional pricing. So you're looking at about $40 for the early access edition of this game in Steam. At least that's kind of what my figures are showing. Now, ask me now, based upon what you saw, and that was the light version of it, because the several recordings I did earlier and yesterday or this morning, lots of problems, big ones, falling through the map, getting shot into this, the atmosphere, cars crashing and landing and randomly jumping on top of each other, traffic gridlocks for blocks and blocks and blocks, all these things that were supposedly fixed in the change logs where they said he fixed them, not fixed. AI just randomly deciding that this is the perfect place to park in the middle of the freeway, or middle of the road in the intersections. The fact that the call-outs, there's very little of them. They're all, like investigate, noise complaints, and shots fired calls. Now, like I said to begin with, it's a lot of wild, wild west stuff. And I get that some people like all the shooting people and running around stuff, but there's a lot more to law enforcement than that. And I'm one of those guys that will get into a game and do traffic stops all day long. I'll do speeders, I'll do commercial, stops where I'm checking permits, I'm checking weights, I'm going to weigh stations. I'm doing all the stuff that a traffic enforcement officer would do. I don't really like to respond to shots fired, and I don't like to respond to, anything crazy like that. I would rather be on the lighter side of that, of law enforcement, because, I want to relax, and I want to have a good time, and I want to feel like I'm doing something. But, yeah, the getting your gun out and shooting every 5 seconds, or walking out of the precinct and there's people shooting right in the street in front of it, that's a little much. So, but like I said, it's up to you, but based upon what I've seen over the last couple of hours, I would definitely wait. I would give it at least another 6 months to a year before I'd even put any money into it. To be honest, in my opinion, I think you would be doing yourself a great disservice by even thinking about buying this. I mean, you've got the proof. We've showed you some of the problems, not all of them, because believe me, there's a lot more. Just know that if you get into this, you're going to get what you pay for. Well, no, you're not. You're not even going to get the value of what you paid for. But, you're going to be paying for a very early access alpha. that has a lot of problems. Don't expect that you're going to get through it unscathed. There's still fatal errors happening. People are crashing the desktop. People are getting locked into certain screens and can't get out of them. People getting locked into certain camera modes and can't get out of them. Getting into a vehicle in certain camera modes results in some pretty funky stuff. So yeah, I'd say you're better off waiting, but hey, it's your money, and if you want to blow it, go for it. Just keep in mind, you've been warned. Anyhow, I think that's about as fair as I can be on it. I do see a lot of promise. I do think the ideology behind what he's trying to accomplish is a commendable way of handling it. I think it's very ambitious. I think it's going to require more than one dev. I think you need a team. I think you need to start worrying about your own assets. Preferably before you get sued for using a Chevy logo in the middle of this game. You know, things like that are a big deal. You know, and you got to remember, you know, you get $1 million in sales in Steam, suddenly you're looking at 5% that you have to pay Unreal Engine. Not to mention, you've got royalties for the asset packs that you did use. If you didn't check that, you probably should read the fine print. Some of these asset bundles are like, okay, well, you can use this free, but if you become a commercial entity with it, you have to pay us royalties. There's that, you know, there's just a lot of people that are going to try to put their hands in your pocket and take the money that you're using for your development. So you need to be aware of that too. And that also, it kind of makes me worry about their future, because if they get sued or they get hit with these royalties, I mean, that could sink a project just as fast as anything else. But I'm so worried about tomorrow, because if the price point is $40 and people pay into this, I mean, I'm critical of it, but I'm also fair. And I just think that, you know, when you're dealing with the general Steam community, when it comes to gamers, if they see something and if you showcase it being, you know, running perfect and everything looks great, and they get in here and it's not, all hell is going to break loose. It's going to be a disaster. I mean, I understand that people can be harsh on their criticisms, but they're doing it, at least the people that were involved prior to tomorrow, were doing it because they care enough about the game to say something, not because they were trying to be obnoxious or rude or mean. They're not trying to drop, I think the term was team morale. Team morale. They're not trying to drop that, but they want you to be aware of and conscious of what's going on and what the state of the game is and what the state of the community is going to be when this thing hits. So the future is looking kind of bleak right now. Can Dyson pull it together and make something happen? To an extent, yes. Speaking from a developer that's been in that situation, yes, he can put together a pretty decent game. I mean, look at Flashing Lights. Flashing Lights, it's a simple game, but he's got fire, he's got EMS, and he's got law enforcement in there. He's got the general controls in. I hate that he used Unity because the graphics are kind of terrible, but it's there, you know. And does it work perfect? No, but at least it's there. I do think that it's unreasonable for $40. I mean, I just do. I mean, you can go and you can get one of these older AAA titles for $40. That's still very viable and modern enough to where it looks good and it plays perfectly. I don't think you're not gonna have very happy people if you sell it for $40 and it's like this. It needs more work. It really does. But that's my stance on it. Now, granted, you know, like I said, you guys have seen some of the things that are going on, and you're going to continue to see more. I'll probably start doing episodes of this every once in a while. I'm going to be kind of watching change logs and patch notes and things, because I want to see some improvement. I want to be able to log on and play for an hour without something crazy happening or me having to reload the game 3 times. You know, once we get to that point where it's stable enough to where that's not a problem anymore, then we're you know, cooking with some fire here or some gasoline. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for now, and I will keep you guys posted as we go on. Like I said, it's a buyer beware message to you. If you decide to do it, know what you're getting into, and hopefully you have the patience of a saint, because this thing started in 2017 and it was actually close in 2022, and then they switched to Unreal Engine 5, and then everything went backwards. So there's no tell on what could happen in development. You could try to upgrade to the next engine levels tomorrow and break a whole bunch of stuff, and then the game's not playable again. So I mean, you're taking a risk, and if you don't mind the risk and you can just fork over the $40 whatever it's going to be, then by all means go ahead and do it. But yeah, I was safe on it. I mean, I got lucky and I got mine stuff gifted to me, because I wasn't going to buy it. I was like, I don't know, man, if it's like $40, that's pushing it for me. I mean, not that I couldn't afford it and that we couldn't afford it, but I just don't feel it's worth that kind of money, and so I might have passed it up altogether. But thank you again for the donations. You know who you are, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. This is Rio at Unity Gaming Group. Have a great night.